What is up, YouTube? This is DeFGandolf coming to you with another World of Tanks video, and today I'm here in my T28 American Tier 8 non-turreted tank destroyer, and I'm in a Tier 8 match on Prokhorovka. I probably botched that up, but anyways, so I do not yet have the 120mm anti-tank gun on this tank yet. I am currently still using the 105mm from the T28 AT, which is the Tier 7 on this line. So, on this map, what I like to do in my TDs, especially my very well armored TDs, is head over here to this western flank, especially when I spawn in the south. The south is very nice for this, I find. But I like to come over here, sit in the bushes, let my team get some spots, and just lay damage upon the enemies. Now, I think my SC100 video that I made a little while ago, I think last week, I also came to the same spot, I do believe, but SC100 is a wildly different tank than the T28. It has a very good gun, but it has very little armor. So this tank with this gun is kind of the opposite. It's more of a DPM tank, I guess, with a 105mm gun with 198mm of penetration, 320 average damage, but this tank has well over 200mm of frontal armor. And the only frontal weak spot it has is, if you see my cursor here, this little commander's hatch right here, the cupola. And if you wiggle your tank and keep it moving side to side, the way that thing is mounted on the side of the top of the tank, it is very, very hard to hit. So again, I'm just coming over here to the bushes on this left side. I'm just going to hold down this area. I've played very few matches where the enemy team has sent less than probably 3 tanks onto this western flank here. And I do know that the enemies probably have at least their SC100 sitting here on this left side, most likely their RHM as well. Their T25-2 and their Jagdpanzer IV, those are both very mobile tank destroyers, so that they're not easy bets on where they'll be. Tiger P spotted across the middle, down the 4 line there. He's below the ridge line, and I can only see the tip top of his turret, so I don't even turn to shoot at him, because that would give away in a tank destroyer my whole position. Now he's starting to come up a bit more, but sadly I think my teammates over here have hit him enough to make him pull back a bit, and now he's only exposing his commander's hatch again. And even then, it's a very, very risky shot, and I can't seem to find the hatch again. T28 is a very large tank. It is a very, very nice tank if you're an artillery piece to shoot at, because it only has 25 top armor. And there's my American accuracy right there. The American 105mm gun on this tank has very good accuracy, which has drilled that commander's hatch from this range. So I just bounced a shot off the edge of my front there, which means they were firing at my cupola most likely. But I do now know that there's at least one enemy tank over there on the left, so I pull back from the bushes and see what I can do over across by the train tracks. Now, I saw their T25-2 did decide to show himself over there, so I know he's not camping this left side yet, but he could always move back over here if he so desired. And right now I'm just sitting here waiting for the enemy to push. This is not really a tank that you want to be the first one advancing in, but it is very good in advance if you do have teammate support, because as soon as they get beside you and behind you, you don't really have a chance at winning the engagement. But if you do have team support, this is a very good assault gun type tank destroyer, especially once you get the 120mm gun. But unfortunately, it does take 51k XP to get that gun, so it does take a while. Now, I guess having an expensive top gun isn't really anything new to Tier 8 TDs. I know the ISU 152's BL-10 takes a lot, and until you get it, you're dealing with either a 152mm derp gun, which is almost exactly the same as that's on the KP2, although I believe it might have slightly better penetration, maybe? I can't quite remember. And so you're either dealing with that until you get the BL-10, or you're dealing with 122mm guns, albeit they do have good DPM, but they only have 175mm of penetration. which in Tier 8, it just ain't gonna cut it. I mean, my Pershing has more penetration than that, and the Pershing has slightly poor side penetration. So, unfortunately for that T29, we had lots of guns aimed his way, so when he pushed up, he didn't really have a chance. And I hit him for 900-ish damage. So I got a good little sum of damage off of that guy. Unfortunately, he's just a Tier 7, and he wasn't hull down with his turret armor. T29 does have extremely good turret armor, and if he had found a way to get hull down, I would not have been able to pin him. So again, I'm just sitting here waiting. And here come the enemies. We spotted their SU-100 and a T-34, Tier 8 American Premium Heavy Tank. T-34 does have a very nice 120mm gun, but it has no frontal plate armor. Its turret is very good, but that doesn't matter when I'm shooting at your hull. Unfortunately, that shot flew high and did hit his turret, sadly for me, and I did take a rather beefy hit from somewhere. I don't know exactly where. I believe that was the T-34 that just bounced a shot off of me. And that shot was a high explosive shot from the right side. That particular shot missed, and then the KV-1S bounced off my front. The KV-1S has a very difficult time trying to pin this tank. And now you can see I'm wiggling my tank side to side as I was talking about earlier, just trying to make it as hard as possible for the enemies to hit my little cupola. I try to hit the T-34's commander's hatch, but it does bounce off because it flew a bit low and hit his turret. And then I had a nice shot at almost flat side of the T-34's turret, and there's no bouncing that shot with 200mm penetration. Now the SU-100 is my main target. He has turned towards me, but I know he can't one-shot me because his average damage, even with his 122mm gun, is only 390, and I've got 487 HP left. So I know there's no physical way the SU-100 can one-shot me unless he were to get an ammo rack or an engine fire. But in order to do that, he'd also have to pin my front, which he'd have to get very lucky shot on my commander's hatch.
Enemy armor is damaged.
KV-1S doesn't have enough armor to deflect my shots, so he's basically a cakewalk. I'm sorry you can't see the outline there. Seems like my replays are getting the bug there. But I was actually shooting at his flat front, and we do collect the kill. And at this point I have done 2,783 damage, which is a good bit of damage. Now my Type 58 has signaled me in the chat to move up with him, but I decided to give him a bit of support fire on the SU-100, take the kill, and do another good bit of damage to put myself over 3,000 damage with the T28. Now I'm worried that we're going to get killed by their arty here. Again, the T28 is very slow. Its top speed on flat terrain is only 18 kilometers an hour. So, arty does not have a hard time shooting me. But the team has cleaned up the arty, killed him off, and yeah. So this was a very nice victory. They only killed 14 of our guys. We killed all of them. I mean, we killed all of them, and they only killed 6 of our guys, rather. So yeah. If you enjoyed this video, please do leave a like. Be sure to head over to my channel and subscribe for more great World of Tanks content coming to my channel in the very near future. And if you have any questions or comments, drop in the comment section below. This is DeFGandolf signing off. Later, guys.